Okay, let's unpack this. Today we're doing a deep dive into the Samurai Reborn series.
Mm-hmm. It's quite a world.
It really is. And our mission today, well, it's basically to peek behind the curtain. We want to give you just enough, tantalizing details.
Just enough hooks.
Exactly. Hooks from the author's notes, early book excerpts,
Mm-hmm.
enough to get you really curious without spoiling the whole incredible journey.
Yeah, because this isn't just like a straightforward story. It's really intricate. Lots of twists, characters thrown into these, well, unimaginable situations.
Totally. And we'll explore how these ordinary lives suddenly become extraordinary.
And how that fight just for survival can completely change someone's destiny. It leaves you asking a lot of questions, wanting to know what happens next.
Okay, get ready. We're going to dive into what makes this series such a thrilling read.
What I find really fascinating is how it starts. It just flips your expectations for a hero's journey, right away.
Absolutely. Let's start right there with the genesis of a Slayer. It immediately creates this really jarring shift for Jace, our main character.
Yeah, Jace.
So imagine this. You think you're in this calm, peaceful, virtual afterlife. You're a mailroom assistant.
Enjoying bubble wrap pops and typewriter clicks, right? The little things.
Exactly. Simple pleasures and your past life memories. Gone. Wiped clean. All for this promise of solace and relaxation.
Sounds pretty good, actually, like pure escapism.
Right, but that's where the author just pulls the rug out. Jace gets yanked out of that piece by this really mundane-sounding alert.
Game update detected. Sounds harmless.
Totally harmless. But what comes next is, well, it's chilling. He's arrested for murder.
And murder is something he didn't even think was, possible in this world.
It's an instant crisis, right?
Mm.
Makes Jace and you, the reader, question absolutely everything from moment one.
It's a really smart way to disorient everyone.
The plot just thickens almost instantly. Jace is somehow connected to this mysterious package. Something from the future.
And the guy it was for, Mr. Osaka, he just disappears. Vanishes.
So many questions right away. What's in that package? How is Jace, this mailroom guy, involved? That's what pulls you into the mystery.
And then you get the introduction of Dalen Knoxborn.
Ah, Dalen. The samurai spirit.
From the future, yeah. His mission was supposed to stop this dark future, but it all went wrong. Badly wrong.
And the twist. He ends up trapped inside Jace.
Inside Jace's aging postal worker assistant body, as he puts it. The contrast is just...
hilarious and kind of tragic. Dalen is not happy about it. Calls Jace an idiot constantly for not wanting any part of this.
Well, yeah. This reluctant hero thing, it sets up this great internal conflict. It's funny, but also super tense.
That's where the tension really amps up.
Wow.
Dalen reveals why he's stuck with Jace. It's because of a quantum artifact.
A scroll, which Jace just has. No idea.
Right, and that immediately tells you this story is blending, like ancient magic and future tech. It's a really cool mix.
And then comes the big reveal. The future Dalen is trying to prevent. It's dominated by these pure-blood vampires.
Vampires with no weaknesses. How do you even fight that?
Exactly. And Jace, Mr. Mailroom Assistant, he's apparently destined to become the samurai vampire slayer.
Talk about a promotion he didn't ask for.
His job, find and kill the vampire overlord and this mysterious prodigy figure.
And you could just feel Jace's reluctance. He wants out. He wants his quiet life back. But Dalen needs him for this huge, urgent mission.
That clash is central. Personal desire versus this, cosmic duty he's been forced into. It drives so much of the early story.
It's a classic unwilling hero setup, but done in a really fresh way.
Definitely. Which takes us into the next phase. Trials by fire and unexpected abilities. The stakes just keep going up.
And we get introduced to the dungeons.
Right, but these aren't like video game dungeons. Not virtual.
No, these are temporary, real-world portals. Like worlds within ours, the author calls them. Places vampires use for training.
And they are dangerous. Physical places. People can and definitely do die in them.
Which makes Jace's recruitment even sketchier. This character, Paul.
Ah, Paul. The game archaeology PhD studies old video games as history. It's a cool background.
It is, but he tests Jace with this Class M test, something only potential dungeon masters are meant to pass.
And basically tricks Jace onto his team. Admits he just needed the numbers to get into the dungeon.
Yeah, talk about a betrayal right from the start. He basically traps Jace.
And Jace's first taste of combat, it's brutal.
Oh, yeah. He's alone. He's level 2. And he's facing a rabid weird dog.
That's level 10. The power gap is insane. Should be instant death.
It really sets the tone for the impossible odds he's constantly facing. So how does he survive?
Well, partly luck, partly Dalen, and partly this thing he finds in his inventory, the doohickey.
The doohickey, this weird, unpredictable item, has all these strange abilities. Freeze ray, sonic stun.
Shockwave. You never know what it's going to do. It's kind of his wild card.
And Dalen, piloting Jace's body, gets his hands on a samurai sword. Just a basic one, but...
But you sense there's more to it. It hints at this hidden potential, waiting to be unlocked.
This constant cycle of being overwhelmed, barely surviving, maybe learning something, it keeps the action really gripping.
It forces Jace to adapt or, rely on sheer luck sometimes.
So the team finds refuge, or what looks like refuge, the Eclipse Inn.
Right, inside the dungeon. Seems luxurious, welcoming, free food and drink.
Almost too good to be true. And Jace, even though he's supposedly the coward of the group, he senses something's wrong. Off.
That intuition pays off. Or, well, confirms his fears. The hostess, Ava.
Ava. She introduces herself as the keeper of the realm of the undead. Casual.
Yeah, just drops that bombshell, reveals the whole inn is a trap. They run warrior games there. Her undead champions versus...
Just puny human warriors. It's not a game. People die. For real.
And that name, Eclipse Inn, suddenly makes sense in a much darker way. It connects back to this neon sign Jay saw earlier. A phoenix.
Rebirth, yeah, but here it means something sinister. Undead rebirth, maybe. Super dangerous.
Talk about a high-stakes twist, which leads right into the next part. Betrayals, sacrifices, and lingering shadows.
And the first betrayal hits hard. Paul, the archaeologist.
Yep. Turns out he sold the team out as cannon fodder for the vampires.
Just abandons them and disappears, leaves them completely stranded.
That really hammers home the themes of trust, or lack thereof, and just raw survival.
And then, Dalen.
Ah, yeah. It's huge. During a critical fight, Dalen takes over Jace one last time.
Pushes all his remaining energy, his spirit energy, into that samurai sword.
And then he relinquishes control. It's basically self-sacrifice.
He saves Jace, completes part of the mission, but he's gone.
Leaving Jace truly alone now, burdened with this mission he never wanted.
But now he has this powerful sword and some new skills, like Super Samurai mode.
Which lasts for all of 3 seconds. Perilous indeed.
So now Jace is the Slayer, but he's also kind of an outcast, right? His remaining teammates look at him differently. They know he's not just Jace anymore.
Exactly. He's viewed with suspicion. He's different.
And the threats don't stop. He immediately faces this mere vampire, Draven.
Ooh. Draven's tough. Illusions, shape-shifting, invisibility.
Jace figures out he has to fight with his eyes closed to counter the mind control, which is just, wow.
It's an intense fight, and it leaves Jace critically wounded, like clinging to life shows the real physical danger.
He's down to just 2 HP, 2 health points left. It really highlights those life or death stakes.
That's the story pushing him constantly to his absolute limit, but right after that.
He gets the Kusanagi sword. The legendary one.
Yeah, it absorbs the power of his old sword, and suddenly he has these new potent skills. Identify, even a healing ability, things he desperately needs.
And his status screen changes too. A blinking icon appears. A world map.
With a red dot showing the enemy's location, it hints the conflict is much bigger, much wider than he thought.
But does he get a break? Nope. Thrown right back into it. He has to fight a siren.
The siren of the perilous plains, and the fight is underwater.
With just a karambit knife. And this siren, her tentacles multiply when cut.
Plus, she has superhuman intelligence. She adapts to his tactics. She learns.
He barely makes it out. Has to use the doohickey again, that unpredictable gadget. And guess what?
Let me guess. Back down to 2 HP.
Bingo. Back to 2 HP. The struggle is relentless.
It really keeps you on the edge of your seat. And then, as if things weren't complicated enough,
a new player enters the game. The Quantum Field Genie.
Yeah, this powerful entity starts messing with Jace's AI companion, his little helper.
Stripping away another support system, leaving Jace even more isolated. Truly on his own. The story just keeps finding ways to raise the stakes.
And it makes those stakes incredibly personal, too.
Oh, absolutely. Because it's not just about saving the world anymore. It hits home. Hard. Jace's foster mother, Kelly.
She gets kidnapped. And worse.
Transformed.
Turned into a vampire. And she's struggling with it. Consumed by rage, by this thirst. It's heartbreaking. It blurs those lines between who's an ally, who's an enemy.
And the world just keeps getting bigger and more complex around Jace. We meet other characters caught up in this.
Like Quang, accused of murder by vampire elders, imprisoned. Right, but he gets help from this old vampire Argos and escapes. Now he's mixed up with the Red faction, looking for the last samurai shogun. It hints at deeper politics within the vampire world.
And Marsh and Sam, the sharpshooters, fighting off hordes, learning about waves of attackers, some ancient, powerful vampire familiar. Their story opens up another front in this war.
Even Jace's remaining teammates, Dilara and Crete, they encounter Hanzo.
The cyber vampire, a supreme leader dealing with traitors inside the vampire nation itself.
It shows there are factions, internal power struggles. It's not just one monolithic enemy. It adds layers.
And behind it all, pulling the strings.
Jim.
The vampire overlord? Jim sounds almost normal. Deceptively normal. He learns about Jace, the Slayer, realizes someone can actually kill vampires effectively, something not seen in 500 years.
That gets his attention, big time.
He orders his forces, including Ava from the Eclipse Inn, find the Slayer's weaknesses, eliminate him.
Even if it means messing with their own big tournament, their allowed special intervention, the rules are changing.
And there are these hints, an upcoming ceremony, a comet. Something big is coming, world-changing.
It all sets the stage for a massive confrontation, so many threads weaving together.
So yeah, we've really only scratched the surface of the Samurai Reborn series here, but you can already feel the tension, right? The stakes are huge.
Definitely. You go from this unassuming mailroom assistant suddenly thrown into this cosmic war, ancient spirits, loved ones turned into monsters.
And this shadowy vampire overlord manipulating everything. This deep dive, it really shows how complex and, yeah, thrilling Jace's journey becomes.
So many unanswered questions.
Totally. Will Jace actually embrace this destiny? Can he be the samurai vampire slayer?
Can he defeat the Overlord, this mysterious prodigy, especially when he's fighting enemies he barely understands, using powers he never wanted?
And what about Kelly, his foster mom? What happens to her? Is there any coming back from that?
And this ceremony, the comet, what exactly are they? How do they fit into the Overlord's plans?
These are the questions that stick with you. It promises a read full of those aha moments, surprises around every corner.
Absolutely. Twists and turns you won't see coming.
So if you're ready to jump in, unravel these mysteries yourself, and really witness this epic story of resilience, well, this is your cue.
Yeah, dive deeper into the action.
You can order the Samurai Reborn book episodes right now. Immerse yourself in this world. Every page brings something new, challenges, twists, triumphs.
You really won't want to miss a single moment of Jace's journey. It's quite the ride.